Well, what a gorgeous little place this is. Conflans. I've got a sneaking suspicion though that the river is going to be in a right state. Yeah, and that's probably first indication down there. No. It has absolutely thrown it down for probably 2 or 3 days now. A lot of rain has come down, so yeah, I was expecting it to be quite coloured up, but it looks like there's actually quite a lot of water on this. I'm going to get around this corner in a second and we'll be able to see. Fingers crossed there's a chance it's still fishable. Well, it's safe to say first impressions don't look great at this stage. Well, what an absolutely amazing backdrop to this river. So this is La Vienne. Big, wide, powerful river. And certainly with this much extra water on, not fishable, I would say, at this stage. I can't see a single area. There's a weir in the distance that looks like the level is going over the top of just about, but maybe someone's back garden down there, a little bit of slack water, but there doesn't seem to be any publicly fishable areas, unfortunately, here. There is a road on the far side, but the flow next to it, it's absolutely flying through. There's all sorts coming downstream here as well. You can see it. Well, here's the view from the other side of the bridge. And yeah, pretty conclusive. This unfortunately is a no-go today. I've got 4 or 5 days, something like that, until got to get back to Calais. I think this is probably going to need easily 2 or 3 days to sort itself out. So we'll pop back towards the end of the week, see what the chances look like then. Yeah, and hopefully all this extra water has passed downstream and there'll be a chance of getting some lines in the water towards the end of the week. Well, back at the house now. Been a failure on the fishing front today. Oh, ooh, what is going on here? Now, if we couldn't get on the river, oh, is that a bit of spackball? Yes. Oh, she's a good one. Well, there is no respite from the rain. The level on the river is rising again. Challenge of catching a barbel. It's a pretty big one this week, I think. Well, good morning. We're back out on the still water this morning. It was a false start on the rivers yesterday, unfortunately, which is a shame, but I got back to the house last night and I was just trying to understand. So that was my first visit to La Vienne, and I don't know what the normal range is. I don't know how big of a flood that was yesterday, and I don't know how far it's got to go and how long it will take to get back towards its normal range. So I got onto River app last night, and by chance there is a gauge for Conflans on La Vienne on River app. Now that's the free version that shows you a 24-hour view of the gauge, so I can already start to see that the river is running off, which is good news. Now there is also a £6.99 premium version, and I bought that last night, and that gives you a far wider viewpoint, and that's the 7-day version. So I'm starting to learn here about the Vienne. I think that's about the normal sort of range that it's been over the course of the last week, and I can see that it's probably about a quarter to a third of the way back down towards where it needs to get to. So that's quite encouraging that it's starting to run off quite quickly. Now the other thing about this app is that you can extend the date range and start to see more history. So that's the monthly view of the Vienne at Conflans. So sod's law, isn't it, that, you know, the day that I visit that I want to fish, you know, that's the only major flood event there's been in the last 4 weeks there. But I can see that this is the typical level that I can expect on the Vienne at Confluence, and I can see where it needs to kind of get back to. Now, if I extend the viewpoint to the 3-month view, I can see there was one other major flood event in the last 3 months at Confluence on the Vienne, and I can see over here the spike looks to have run off quite quickly. So that's now quite encouraging for me, that in terms of what I've seen over the last 24 hours, you know, fingers crossed inside 1 or 2 days, if it gets back to here, which is what happened, you know, on the previous flood event over here, fingers crossed it might be fishable, you know, before the end of my trip. So for £6.99, for me, that is cash well spent. I'm nothing to do with River app, and I'm just sharing something here that, you know, if you're going to a river that you've not visited before, you don't know what the level's doing, and it is up, and you want to get an idea of the history and, you know, where would the normal level be, pay the £6.99. That's invaluable, and, you know, for £7 a year, it's just money well spent. So I'm going to spend the rest of today on the still water. I might get in the car tonight, get over to the river, check out, see what's going on. But there is now a lot more chance, and I'm a lot more hopeful that I may be able to get some lines in there over the course of the next couple of days before my trip ends. Well, it's been very pleasant sat by the edge of the lake this afternoon. We've had a couple of carp as a consolation prize for missing out on the river yesterday, so that's cheered me up a little bit. Now, whilst I've been sat here just waiting for a bite or two, I've been checking out Google Maps, and there's a couple of towns upstream on the Vienne which look like they've got a bit of potential, and I was just thinking it's probably better to head upstream. So Confluence is downstream of here. It's about 30 to 40 minutes away, and one of the towns I was looking at, which is River Vienne, is about half an hour upstream. Now, it's probable that the river's going to run off quicker up there than Confluence, and also it's on the inside of a bend, so there's a chance of some slack water there. So I think I'm going to change plans tomorrow morning, get over to River Vienne, see if we can get some lines in the water there, and I'll make my way back over to Confluence for a look at that later in the week. Morning, we're up and at 'em nice and early. I really hope this river is fishable this morning. It's up and it's belting through. Oh no! Well, welcome to River Vienne. It is pushing through. This might be doable though. It's going to be a big lead. Big chunk of meat, something like that, but down this inside wall, I reckon this is my best chance here. Well, you can see the river's been up and over this concrete area in the last 24 hours. I reckon I can get some rods in on this, get some poles in on this grass here. It's just a ever so slight bend here, which is what I saw on Google Maps. Now there is a left-hand bend up there, but that's fenced off there. It looks like private property, but might just have a little wander up there just to see if there's any chance of getting in on that side of the bend also. There might be a slack just up there that we can work with. But this is definitely looking a lot better than Confluence. Well, this looks like a campsite. Well, let's just get in here and have a look. Can't get the van in here, but doesn't seem to be anybody about. Certainly nobody camping. Let's just have a look up here, what's going on this bend. Same as the lake. Birds are really active first thing in the morning. First light. River's definitely far less turbulent here, but it's still really wide, powerful. Looks an absolute beast of a river. What have we got going on behind this bush here? Let's just get down. Oh yeah, there is a bit of slack water here. Well, there's nobody about, so I think I'll get some rods in to start with back where I parked up. But this looks like a definite change up area. It's still pushing through here though. It's not a slack as such, but it's probably as slow as the water's going to get at the minute, so there's a good chance there might be some fish tucked in here, hopefully. Well, this looks like it could be a really nice campsite once it's opened. Right on the riverbanks, you could just back up, get some rods out. Perfect for the fishing. I'm really surprised there's nobody about. It's in April. You would have thought that this place would have been open, but oh, nightmare. Oh, it's concrete underneath. And I've got my pod. Well, I've managed to get a couple of sticks in this side. Happy days. So we can have a go here. That's the view upstream. Sun's starting to come up. Let's just drop a couple of rods in the edge here and hope something is sneaking along the side of this wall. Yeah, all good, we can reach down there. Well, I'm getting pretty excited about this. Nearly first cast time into the Vienne. So I'm fishing boilie, paste wrap on the one rod. I've got a van full of ground bait, 2 and 4 mil micros. Just no chance we're going to be doing anything with them this week. I went up to Leclerc last night, the local supermarket, and got myself a queue at a tin of meat in. So I've got cubes of meat, so they're going to go out on one rod. Paste wrap boiling on the other. So a cube of meat on the upstream. Literally just dropped in the edge. 6 ounce lead. Yeah, that's holding nice. Paste wrap boilie, downstream rod. Bit of separation. Yeah, that's good as well. Come on, hopefully there's something out there. Right, let's keep quiet now. See some right under our feet here. Well, that's both rods in, and we are in the game. There's got to be something coming along this inside edge. I'll take anything, to be honest. Chub, Small barbel, small carp, small catfish. Fingers crossed something's knocking around, first light. Well, just as one for the future, potentially, River Vienne, there is a really nice footpath and park area on the far side here. It's probably not for today because it's on the outside of a bend with the flow over there. It'd be probably too strong, but if you're knocking around in the area, you can definitely get on the right hand bank there. There's some parking just up there, which I guess you can access just down from the bridge. But there's easily 8 or 10 fishable areas over there by the look of it. Let's see what it brings today. All down here on this side, there's only about an inch of grass on top of concrete, so I can't get my sticks in anywhere down there. So we can't move that way, but if we need to, we can sneak down that way a little bit. Well, I've got a bag of 12mm boilie in the back of the van from the carp lake, so I'm just going to scatter some of this in the edge. Not too much because I don't want to get too much food down there, but just get some free offerings in. Just make a bit of disturbance in the water. See if we can pull a few fish in. Well, I bought the Trent rods with me for this trip and I'm glad I did. Got my OC 6000s on there as well, 15-pound main line. These rods have been in about 20 minutes now, no action. Just had a rummage in the back of the van and I've got one single 8-ounce lead. I didn't pack any because I just generally didn't think I would have needed them. So, yeah, a bit of a cock up there, but it is what it is. So I've got one opportunity where I can push a rod out a bit further, so probably give these about another 10 or 15 minutes, see if there's anything cooking. If not, I'll have a play around, try and push one a bit further out, just see if we can find any fish knocking around on this inside wall. Probably spend a couple of hours or so here, fish it pretty similarly to I would back home. If there's nothing doing, we'll pack up, see if we can get into a peg a couple hundred yards a bit further down the stretch. Let's try and push this rod a bit further out. Twitched that so far. I'm going to chase the red just yet. See what we can get away with. Well guys, it is nice and quiet here. This isn't a bad spot to be honest. Could just do with the level being a little bit lower. So behind me there's like an open car park area. If you're looking for this location, if you just search on Google for Museum de Porcelain, there's an area. It's almost like a riverside walk that's just behind that porcelain museum, and yeah, you can park up here. There's like an area probably for 15-20 cars behind me, something like that, and then you got this campsite on this side. So I can imagine in the summer this would be really nice down here. No activity whatsoever on the tip so far, no little taps or signs of small fish or anything knocking around to go on, which isn't that encouraging so far, but you never know. Tip might just slam over at any point, so let's stay positive, just keep exploring the swim. I can cast downstream probably a good 20-25 yards here, so there's a little bit we can do in this peg. So let's just keep the recast going, exploring the swim. Let's see what we can do. Refresh time for the paste wrapped rod. Let's get this dude back out. I'll try this one a bit further out as well. So just swing it, I think. There's a bit of depth there. Does seem to be holding as well. Just pair a bit more line. See how we get along there. Well, the rain's coming down a bit harder now when I'm tucked under this tree and I'm getting some big old drops of rain coming off the branches. But yeah, we've maybe had probably about an hour and 20 minutes here now, something like that. There hasn't been a single tap of note on the tips. Done about 4 or 5 different recasts. I'm probably about 3 or 4 rod lengths further out now, right on the edge of where I can get to in terms of holding bottom. So this is what the gauge looks like. And this is the location I'm at, River Vienne. So that's the 1 month view. So you can see across the bottom there, the majority of the time over the last sort of 4 weeks, the level's been pretty static. And I'd say we're probably maybe just over halfway, getting towards 2/3 of the way back down towards where the level should normally be. Hopefully that just gives you an idea of what the conditions look like out in front versus what they normally would be like here. So I'd say, looking at the gauge, there's probably about 2 foot of extra water on at the second. So it doesn't sound massive, but it's just such a wide, big, powerful river. There's just so much flow in it. So yeah, there's nobody else turned up down here, or someone, by the look of it, just going to work a bit further down. But probably hang about for another 45 minutes to an hour in this peg, and then we'll get ourselves up in that direction and just try a bit further downstream. Well, I think I've aged about 30 years in the space of a day. But the towel's got to do a job to keep me dry. The shelter had to stay behind, I'm afraid. Space was at a premium in the van. Well, the train on the far side rattles on by. The chocolate brown coloured Vienne continues to push through. Tips are motionless. Nothing is going on whatsoever, and we're scratching here. Probably going to be one more rechuck, I think, and then we're going to have to get on the move to see if we can make something else happen elsewhere. Well, that's enough time in this peg. Nothing is doing. Are we snagged up? Oh, it's pulled out, thankfully. I was going to say that would be the cherry on the top, losing the setup. So let's get the other rod in, and we are going in that direction down there. Oh, bit of fence hopping. Right, we're on the move. Let's get a check out, see what this campsite stretch has got to offer. Still nobody about anywhere, so I don't think this is private, there's no signs up anywhere, so I'm going to go take my chances. If someone asks me to move on, then fair dues. I probably won't have a clue what they'll be saying in French, but I'll no doubt I will get their drift. Right, let's get and have a look. Well, looks best down here. I wish this damn rain would clear off. So you can see there's a little bit of a sweeping bend here. To be honest, the flow doesn't really look any different here to what it was on the last stretch, but I might just go as far down as I can, just because the shape of the river hopefully will provide a little bit more cover towards the far end of the bend. It's a beautiful backdrop, lovely river. On a better day with the sun out, I bet this is amazing. Look at that lovely house there as well. I'm going to drop one of these rods in a second, I'm losing my grip. So, let's put those down there. I guess this looks as good as anywhere, but there is some overhanging trees there. Let's get this damn chair down. Sticks in the ground. Let's get the bag on the chair to keep that dry. Right, let's get and have a look down here. Still no signs anywhere that it's private. Yeah, to be honest, I might come down here, just tuck one. There's a chance there might be something under there, so let's come a bit further down and give that a whirl. Love to be able to fish some smaller baits, to be honest, but in these conditions, with this colour in the river, it's just not going to be the one, unfortunately. So, paste wrap boilie, going to put that on the upstream side to start with, and then that overhanging tree down there. So I'm going to keep the rods a distance away from that, just to try and stay out of cover. So we'll stick the Cuban meat under that tree there, see how we get along with that. But let's get this paste wrap in first. So just a couple of rod ends out to start with, close to this wall on the near side. And just gradually work away a bit further out. Get the weed out of that tip. Don't want that eye getting clogged up if we get a bite and jamming the line up. Yeah, wow, that's a low more flow here. That red's been dragged straight off the spot already, so just get that back. Paste wrap needs to be refreshed. Should have had a test cast first. Schoolboy error there. Right, more paste and a bigger bow in the line needed. Alright, plenty of line out. Yeah, that's a lot better. Well, that's both rods in now then on this second spot. We're right at the end of the inside of this sweeping left-hand bend now. I thought there'd be less flow here actually, but there is a bit more than that previous spot, but we'll just adjust for that. Hopefully there's something knocking around here. It's just hard to predict really how much cold water's gone in, and not knowing the river and how it fishes and you know what its trends are, how the fish are going to react. You know, it's just all complete guesswork for me, this is, but all you can do is pull on your experiences from back home and just hope that there's enough of a read across. At the end of the day, we're chasing barbel. You would have thought barbel in a French river is no different to a barbel in an English river to a certain degree. It's just this is a far bigger and far more powerful river. And there's a lot of cold water gone in over the last 3 or 4 days. But sounds like I'm making excuses now, so let's just get on with it, put up and shut up, and do our best to catch. Well, I'm gradually starting to sit in a puddle. This rain is really frustrating. Don't seem to be able to get a break from it, but hopefully something turns up for us soon, just to put a smile on my weary face. Well, second spot, we've had about an hour and a half and there's been absolutely no action whatsoever. No movements on the tip, no bounces, seen any fish roll on the surface. It's just, it feels completely devoid of any signs of activity. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough one unfortunately, and it probably isn't how I expected this to turn out. It's a shame really, but 600 or 700 miles. But what can you do? The conditions are what they're at. I don't know the river. I'm just trying to apply the knowledge and the experience that I've gained on the rivers back in the UK on what to do here. But fish just might not be used to seeing boilie and pellet. You know, like you go to the Trent, there's boilie going in on every stretch of the river. The Severn's getting filled in with pellet all summer, all autumn. The fish just know and recognise it as a food source. I don't know what the local French anglers do here. You know, they might be just fishing maggot and worm. Cuba meat and a boilie in the river here to a barbel might just be something that they just don't recognise as a food source. Who knows? I'm just guessing really, but all I know is I'm getting wetter and wetter by the minute. So in terms of next couple of days for me, I've probably got, well, I've got 3 days of my trip left. 2 of them though are committed. One's my daughter's birthday. We've got a day out on the other day, so I've probably got 1 other fishing chance left. So I think I'm going to give it another 20 minutes or so. I'm going to get myself back, get a change of clothes. I definitely need that because I'm absolutely dripping wet, and I'm probably going to hatch a plan, do something with the wife, kids and the in-laws this afternoon just to buy some brownie points, just to see if I can free up some time to get out onto a different stretch again tomorrow and just try my luck on this mega river elsewhere tomorrow. It will hopefully have run off a bit more again overnight, so fingers crossed there'll be a few more swims that might be available. I don't think the colour or the amount of debris in the river, anything like that's going to change, so I don't think I'm going to be able to fish anything other than probably boilie or meat, because it's just still going to be as brown as and as coloured as what it is today, but we'll give it 20 more minutes here, see if anything turns up. Otherwise, back to the van, pack up, get back, change your clothes. Admit defeat today, fell at the first hurdle, and hopefully try again tomorrow. Well, that's the end of this one then, so I've bailed out, I'm afraid. The gear's in the back of the van, and yeah, you can hear the rain bouncing off the roof. It's just torrential out there. Well, first visit to River Vienne, it's not gone to plan, but there's a bit of knowledge gone in the bank, and I've got a little bit more time to, fingers crossed, have another go before this trip ends. So if you've liked this video, please subscribe to the channel to see a bit more if you want to, of course. There'll be hopefully one more video, as I've mentioned, where we can get that first French barbel in the back of the net. I'm going to get back, get changed. I'm going to call at the boulangerie on the way to pick something up a little bit naughty, just to soften the blow from this morning. We'll come up with hopefully 1 or 2 more stretches on La Vienne to visit at some point, either tomorrow or the day after, and fingers crossed we'll find that first barbel.